Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. Good morning, chickens. It's a beautiful morning this morning. It's a little cool, a little overcast, not so sweaty hot. Anyway, speaking of sweaty hot, you'll see I got the pad finished yesterday. Guys are coming to put the air conditioning in later. It's about 9 o'clock this morning. So I come home. I don't think it's going to be that hot today, but definitely later this week it's going to be 25, 26. We'll be making use of it, so that's good. You see, I got Tupperware in my hand. What do we got in there? Onions, leftover onions from last year's garden that we had in one of these. What do they call these? Anyway, some kind of fancy Tupperware. It's supposed to keep stuff good forever and a day. But here in the spring, things have sprouted out. Oh, waste not, want not. They want to grow. Might as well let them grow. So before I head off to work here this morning, I'm actually going to chuck them in the garden. Before I do that, though, got to get in the fridge. Get 5 dozen eggs for a guy. I'm notoriously bad for this. Somebody will say, "Oh, I need eggs," and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, sure," and then I'll completely forget about them for like 3, 4, 5 days sometimes, and then they'll text me and say, "Hey, don't want to bug you, but got some eggs for me?" There's my toxic trait. Memory like a sieve. All right, so the eggs are in the truck. I cannot forget them. I cannot possibly forget them. So we're good. I just gotta run over, get a bucket of grain, take over to the chicken tractors here. I've got this, I got a wheelie bin here. Wheelie bin full of turkey grower. It's like 26% turkey grower. Don't have any turkeys anymore. What am I gonna do with all this grain? So I'm gonna blend it off with some of the chicken feed that we get from Bloom Enterprises, just to kind of knock it down to about that 20, 22% thereabouts. I'm not gonna do any math on it, of course. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Oh, shocker, look, we don't have any more turkeys. What happened there? Yeah, that was the worst game of Highlander ever. There can be only one. Yeah, no. It was only one for like a day, and then it decided it was done too. So no turkeys. Sad news. I don't know. They're just so stupid. I don't even know what to say about it. It's sad and unfortunate. Maybe wonder if I've got all this extra high protein turkey grower in the bin, why do I keep it there as opposed to just, and I'm looking to blend it off, right? Why do I not just throw it in a grain shed and just stir it up? Primary reason is because we give that stuff to sheep as well. Although it is chicken feed, I mean, it's just a blend of grains. There's no other additives or anything like that in there. But this turkey grower is really hot feed, right? Very highly digestible. And I give that to a sheep, it could cause a rumen upset and they could be dead within 4 hours. So I'm gonna try to avoid that at all costs. You know, one thing I find is kind of interesting, I'm just over here with the chicken tractors now. The chickens in this chicken tractor eat considerably more grain than the chickens in that chicken tractor. Now, why might that be? I mean, there's the same amount of chickens in each tractor, why would it be? And it's all about grass quality. So as you get lower, a slight elevation change here, right? As you get lower down here, that grass quality is significantly higher. Moisture content in the grass is significantly higher. And then you get up into here, and although, yeah, it looks very lush and green, but as you get down closer, you'll see we got clover, dandelions, a little bit of alfalfa, but there's actually is some bare ground down there. So they're not getting as much from this first, 30 feet of the row as those chickens have got from theirs. So they're going through about half to 2/3 of a 5-gallon bucket every day. Whereas these chickens, just over the last 2-3 days, right, have been smashing a 5-gallon pail of grain consistently every day. Just kind of interesting. Chicken math, eh? Anyways, yesterday was a huge day on the farm, on this farm and another farm. And I wish I could have brought you along, but the weather really wasn't favorable. It was a little bit cooler, but it was a 45-mile-an-hour wind. That was the problem. Is, well, what am I going to bring you? It would be like watching a silent movie because you wouldn't be able to hear anything. There'd be no narration whatsoever. Anyways, yeah, despite the wind and poor weather, we went out to the in-laws, run cows through the chutes, and got the remainder of the cows that are coming here for the summer hauled. So they're all in our southwest pasture right now. And then, I don't know, it was just before supper time when we got home. I thought, what the heck? I'll just back the stock trailer up to the barn, see if the sheep will just load up into it. And sure enough, I had to make 2 runs, but they hopped in and we got them down to pasture down by the dugout. So everybody's on grass. Everybody's just loving life. The chickens, the sheep, the cows, everybody's on grass. So what that means is really all I got to do for morning chores is feed these chickens and do the chicken tractors. So that's not so bad. But it does mean in the evenings, after supper, I got to get the side-by-side out, go down, check the sheep in the pasture, check the cows in the pasture, make sure everybody's contained where they're supposed to be, make sure nobody's sick, make sure nobody's injured. So, you know, for a long time, I thought, oh, you know, you turn them loose on pasture, I guess we'll see in October, and maybe the workload's down a little bit. But the reality is, no, from an animal husbandry perspective, you should actually be out there more because they're further away. So there should actually be more work for you during the summer. But they're loving life right now, so I'm pretty excited. And now it's just to find a spot in the garden where there's some free real estate. The peas are starting to come up. What do we got in here? We got beets and turnips and squash and zucchini and all kinds of stuff in there. Here's where we keep our clover and our grass and a little bit of scentless chamomile. All this. They always seem to do really well on the verge of the rows. I don't know why, so I gotta get in here, do some serious weeding. I'm gonna look for a hori knife and actually go in there and just do some selective weeding. It's just a little bit easier when the weeds are bigger and maybe the hoe can get. So far here where I've mulched with the arborist chips, that's looking pretty decent. Pretty happy about that. And what do I got in here? This is garlic, a couple rows of garlic. And then I got some sunflowers over there, and then I think there's just a corner of real estate that's unoccupied, so we're gonna go in there and get rid of these janky onions. Yeah, so just right here, I know there's some dill right in there. You can't tell because I didn't mark anything, but let's have a look in here. You see the soil quality. This is soil that we amended over the last couple of years. Nice and rich and black, lots of organic material. So we'll just dig a couple little holes here like this and put it in there. See what happens. Oh, we're all tangled up here. Why not, right? Let me get some big monster onions. Mama Bear will love that. I pretty much despise onions. I'm not a big fan. What do we got here? What is that? I don't know what that is. Interesting. Mystery stuff beneath the soil. Right, onions planted. Oh, you know what I bet you that was? That mystery white thing beneath the soil? I bet you it was a white dog shit. And they probably buried it. You guys are disgusting. You're disgusting. Get out of the garden. Filthy animals. Anyway, speaking of filthy animals, I better go wash my hands, head off to work. I don't think the folks in the office will understand what that's all about. But so I'll let you go for now. Hope you have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow.